What is up, everybody? Raggy here. Welcome back to a very late episode of The Haunting Hour. I'm here with Shoc.
What hour is it?
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
It's 10 p.m. So
Actually, it's 10:08.
I'm killing you.
Funny.
We've been in call for like over an hour now, and quite honestly, we could have just recorded that last hour yapping, and it would have made perfectly good content.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, you know. We didn't, but we are recording now. So welcome. It's been a while since we've done one of these. The plan was for Haunting Hour to be kind of like a monthly series where we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. But there isn't always things to talk about, so I have decided that we're going to just make it when there's a topic that we want to discuss, you know?
Or feel like yapping.
Yeah, exactly. We feel like yapping for a little bit. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be about a topic, but there is topics to go over that I'm, you know, that I want to talk about. This episode of The Haunting Hour, now that we've rambled for 10 minutes about other things, kind of... not sponsored, sadly. Gamer subs call me. Is a lot more... We're is a lot more in line with episode 2, I would say, overall. And that is the fact that I am very concerned about Remedy, if I'm being so for real with you.
You should have just ended it. I'm very concerned. Episode ends.
Real. No, I'm really concerned about Remedy, bro. So,
yeah.
For anyone who's been subscribed to the channel, who knows me, who watches my streams, you know that one of my Huh?
He says it a lot.
Do I? I don't... So, my favorite franchise as far as games go is Final Fantasy. This is not a secret. But my favorite developer is Remedy. Alan Wake is one of my favorite games of all time. Alan Wake 1 and 2. I absolutely loved Control. Max Payne is... I still haven't played it, but every single thing that I've seen about it is phenomenal.
Have you played any of them?
No, I still haven't played them. You bought them for me. I haven't played them yet.
You need to do that.
I know. I'm going to stream them. Yeah, I just haven't gotten there yet.
Do it.
I plan to, but I've also like seen like pretty much everything about all three of them. So I know that Remedy only did 1 and 2, but still, like, Max Payne is such a cool game. Quantum Break got a lot of flack when it came out just because of the circumstances in which it released.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the history of that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Xbox was going through a weird fucking period then. And Quantum Break released when... For anybody who doesn't know, Quantum Break was a really ambitious game by Remedy where it tried to blur games and television. So after each chapter, you had like a 20-minute or so TV episode to show the results of your actions from the choices at the end of each chapter. But when it released when Xbox had a very weird reveal for, I believe it was the Xbox One at the time.
Yeah.
Where instead of showing off, hey, here's a new gaming console, they were like, hey, look at all the television you can watch on your Xbox. Which, you know...
It was a very weird point in time.
Yeah, it was a very, like... I don't know why they decided to market it that way, but a lot of people hated it. It's a very infamous presentation, and that just happened to be when Quantum Break was set for, like, a launch title for the Xbox One. Because Quantum Break is a phenomenal game. It just released at a time...
I played it.
Yeah, it just released... I've played it on stream. It just came out at a time where, because of how Xbox presented the console, people were very against it. And it released to people avoiding it because of the circumstances. Which sucks, because it's a great game and it deserved a lot more attention and praise than it got at the time. I'm glad that people have come around to it since, but
Mm-hmm.
it definitely could have had a better launch because of that.
Yeah.
Remedy has also, like, very consistently taken a long time to turn a profit on games, especially recently. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Alan Wake, Control, absolutely phenomenal game. Released Epic Games exclusive. People who did buy it and play it loved it, but it also didn't sell nearly as well as it could have had it released on Steam at launch. But now that it is on Steam, more people have bought it and played it, and it's made a profit.
Yeah.
And they had also signed a 1-year exclusivity deal with Epic Games to get Control released and to get it published. Alan Wake 2 is an absolute masterpiece of storytelling and survival horror. I love the game so much, but I don't think it's ever going to come to Steam, at least not for a long time. I don't think anybody knows the details of the exclusivity deal between Remedy and Epic.
Yeah, because they got funding from them, right? So
here's the thing: as much as like the game would have sold so much better had it been released on Steam, at the same, and like the fact that it's still stuck just on Epic, at the same time, if Epic didn't fund and publish the game, Alan Wake 2 might have never come out.
yeah.
Because nobody, like, they went to like a few different people and nobody would pick up the game to publish it. And then finally Epic was like, yeah, we'll do it for full exclusivity.
We'll give it a budget.
So I don't know if it'll ever come to Steam. I think it may be a permanent Epic exclusive, which means that a lot of people are going to not end up playing it.
Which is not very epic.
It sucks because it's a game that deserves to be played. Like I said, it is a masterpiece of storytelling and survival horror, audio design, visual presentation. It is an absolute... It is a masterpiece. It is a 10 out of 10 game, and I think that if it didn't release in the same year as Baldur's Gate 3, it would have won Game of the Year easily. And I don't think it would have been close.
Yeah.
But Baldur's Gate 3 released the same year, so Baldur's Gate 3 won. Which is fair. Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game. Alan Wake 2 is still my Game of the Year for 2023. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, that was also a very iffy situation as well, because Baldur's Gate 3 was technically an early access game that had a full release that year.
Yeah.
I remember that was like a big contention point that people had.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, when it has its full release is, like, when it's technically released, so...
Yeah.
So I also, like, am a bit iffy with that a lot of the times, but, like, I do understand why Baldur's Gate 3 was in the running in 2023 and not 2022. But, again, it is a phenomenal game, and, like, it did deserve the award. For me, I enjoyed Alan Wake 2 more. But that's me.
Fair.
That's also because I'm more of a horror fan. Much as I love D&D and Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake is in my top, like, 2 games of all time. So, you know. It also, because of the publishing deal with Epic, as well as the fact that, again, on PC, it's an Epic exclusive. It never came to Steam, so not nearly as many people bought it as would have had it been on Steam, or had it come to Steam by now, 3 years later almost. It only just started turning a profit, I think, last summer?
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
And, like, not to say, like, it wasn't, like, making money in sales and stuff, but they only just hit enough of a profit where it paid off
recoup
the costs of the publishing deal with Epic, and finally started to put money back into Remedy's pockets. Control was a similar situation, but because it released on Steam after a year, it got to that point a lot faster. Now, in the last couple of weeks, there's been some news that has come out, and that is that these. So actually, no, we'll come to that in a little bit. Actually, overall, I think Remedy has only released 2 flops ever. Being, I can't remember the name. Like, I think it was like Crossfire X or something. They worked on that weird FPS game that like nobody played.
Oh yeah.
And then FBC Firebreak.
Yeah.
Which I remember when we saw the trailer, I think we were both like, "Oh my god, like co-op Control spin-off?" But then they didn't market the game at all. I didn't even realize it had come out. And then it came out with apparently like no content.
Yeah.
And it like I think it was like a grand total of 1 million players between Game Pass and other streaming stuff, and then the people who bought it. But within like a couple of weeks, it was down to like single and double digit player counts.
Yeah.
So it came out and died pretty much immediately, and I think it's just been abandoned at this point, which sucks. But I also don't know if it was Remedy themselves who were. I think Annapurna also worked on it, or at least published that one.
I believe they did.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if it was Remedy, like the main Remedy team who worked on the game, and I'm pretty sure Annapurna published it. But yeah, Crossfire X.
No, it was published directly by Remedy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know that they were starting to self-publish. Yeah, I feel like Annapurna worked on it still though with them in some capacity. I don't think that was straight up Remedy who did it. I'm gonna double check that right now as well. FBC Firebreak. Developed. Okay, no, it is just like directly like developed and published by Remedy.
Yeah.
Annapurna. Okay, no. They fully did FBC themselves. They did a partnership with Annapurna to produce and co-finance Control Resonant. Okay, that's what it was. So Firebreak was a game that they tried to do, and it flopped, and that's a shame, but like again, like I didn't even know the game had come out. And then all of a sudden it's like FBC Firebreak has like 20 players, and I'm like, it's out? So,
yeah,
you know. And then apparently it launched with like no content, nothing to do. It was just a very not great game.
Apparently it also just plays a little weird as well.
Yeah. They tried something new and it didn't work out right.
Didn't pan out.
But that is also a good indicator of like my mixed feelings on the current updates for Remedy. So Control 2, Control Resonant comes out sometime this year. We do not have a release date. The only release window that we have is 2026. It's coming out this year.
As long as it doesn't get delayed.
Yeah, but I think it's far enough in development at this point. They have enough of it built that like now I'm pretty sure it's just like polishing, bug fixing, and just making sure all the assets are like finished. But I think the game is like to my knowledge, it's in like a playable-ish state. Like it's coming along. It's on track. Like it will be out this year. I from everything I've seen, there's no like roadblocks that they're having. It's going smoothly. It'll be out this year.
Okay.
So the thing with Control Resonant, and it also ties into the updated news, is I'm gonna pause the music so I can like hear a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because as much as like, yeah, music in the background, baby no money, let's fucking go. Can't wait for April. It's making it a little bit hard to think. I'll put on like lyricless music. I'll just put on like the regular stream beats.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, yeah, it's a lot easier to focus with. Essentially, I feel like Resonant might be not like their last chance, but like it's kind of a make or break situation for Remedy at this point, because Remedy after Alan Wake 2 and how long it took them, almost like 3 years to find, or 24, 25, like, it's, yeah, 2.5 years or so to start actually turning a profit and making money themselves from it. They started self-publishing, right? That started with Firebreak, and they're self-publishing Control 2. Control Resonant. After the failure of Firebreak, the CEO of Remedy has recently, in the last few weeks, stepped down, and the CEO has been replaced by a former EA exec who, God, what he was on, like, he was on, like, the live service free-to-play branch.
Yeah.
And then he was also, he worked for a while as, he, like, left EA to do something, in, part of Asia. I believe it was China, and then he came back to EA, and he was then on the branch as an exec for, like, overseas and, like, foreign, publishing and relations for EA.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if he left, I'm pretty sure he left EA after that, and then he went to sports betting. And like betting sites and stuff. So that's cool. And now he's the CEO of Remedy, my favorite game studio. So that's already deeply concerning. Honestly, just hearing former EA executive is concerning enough, but knowing that he was, like, lead on, like, free to play and live service stuff with a lot of microtransactions and whatnot, games as a service type stuff, which I hate for the most part. Sometimes it works, like with MMOs like Final Fantasy or Warframe and whatnot, but there's so much just games that are pay to win slop for the sake of trying to rake in as much money as possible, and that's why so many games come out and fail instantly, because nobody gives a shit, because the market is so oversaturated. Like Highguard coming out.
Yeah, I was about to say Highguard.
To like nobody, to like a couple of people enjoying it. And like, if you enjoy Highguard, like, that's cool, like, enjoy it, but it's, from what I've heard, it's not doing well. That
over half the team's been fired, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that was fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, here's the thing. I feel like Highguard would have been doing better if they had shown it somewhere in the middle of the Game Awards, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been doing phenomenal. I think that a lot of people would have kind of forgotten about it, but I think more people would have been relaxed and willing to give it more of a shot if it hadn't been the big showcase reveal at the end of the Game Awards with Jeff Keighley hyping it up to shit, and then coming out with 3v3 with maps that are way too big for how many players there are, and like barely any content,
and the first half of the round, I have not played it, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard, the first like half or a quarter of the match is literally just running around mining resources, finding loot.
Yeah, looting phase. Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, that there's the looting phase, and there's like it's like so many genres and shit like mishmashed into one game. And apparently, like, from what I've heard from people who have actually played it, is that it has some really cool ideas. I know that, like, Critical was just playing it for a little bit when it launched. He's like, it has some good ideas, but it's just poorly executed. It's trying to do so many things at once to be unique, but it's not like excelling at any of them.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest complaints that I've heard is that, because I believe it's a 3v3 game, is that it is not, the map is way too big for the small amount of players in a match.
They did, in fact, increase it to a 5v5 now.
Good, honestly.
But it from what people are saying, is just too little too late. It should have launched with it.
Yeah. Which
Instead of it being like a side game mode.
yeah, which does suck, but like at the same time, like, that's kind of on them for, doing that. I do think that like it definitely got a lot of unfair treatment because people were upset about it getting that last reveal
Final
slot
spot.
at Game Awards. That,
Yeah.
quite honestly, if anything, that should have been either Control Resonant or Divinity, in my opinion.
Honestly, I think it should have been Divinity.
I think it should have been Divinity as well. Even though like everybody kind of knew that Divinity was gonna be there, people had deduced that from like the obelisk and stuff, and like a couple of other like minor leaks like a couple days before. I think that they should have just kept it as like, they should have made it the big reveal, because it was still like such a hype moment, especially with it being Larian. Like,
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Divinity is Larian's
but I mean,
game.
like but I mean, like coming off of the heels of Baldur's Gate 3, their next project being a revival of Divinity, like I think that should have been, and I think this one is
absolutely should have.
I think this was a direct sequel to Original Sin 2, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be wrong on that.
I don't think it's a direct sequel to Original Sin 2. I'll have to consult with Kelsey.
I think Trash will know. I think Trash will know too, but I think it's connected to Original Sin, whether it's a prequel or a sequel.
I believe it's connected to Original Sin. I think it's connected to 1, not 2.
Yeah, it might be between 1 and 2 actually. Yeah, like I said when I said it the first time, I could be wrong. I don't remember exactly. But I think that Divinity should have been the closing show at the Game Awards. I think that would have taken a lot of heat off of Highguard, and more people would have given it a chance and been more forgiving with how it launched and with the updates.
Yeah.
But I know that it was also getting review bombed at launch by people who were just mad that it was like the closing show of the Game Awards, that's not right. Like, if you play the game and you're like, hey, this sucks, I don't like it, like, that's one thing. Or if you're just like, I don't want to play it, it doesn't look like my kind of game, like I did, where I'm like, I want to see how it turns out, but also,
yeah, it's not my kind of game.
Yeah, that's like a whole other thing. But people who were just like booting up the game, not even having enough playtime to have played a full match, and giving it a negative review and being like, this stole the last spot at the Game Awards. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah. Like, that's stupid.
Like,
people doing that, you're stupid.
That's super cringe. Like, why would you do that? That's so lame. But it definitely like could have released in a better state, and it does suck that that's what happened.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I'm, like Firebreak kind of released in a similar state, but Firebreak also didn't have the same amount of scrutiny behind it, but it also just was marketed so poorly.
I also, for going back to the Highguard for a second, I also believe it's partially on Jeff as well, because he mentioned Titanfall devs.
Yeah, well, honestly,
which immediately got people hyped up.
Yeah, but also I'm gonna be so for real, that kind of happens anytime like Titanfall gets mentioned in any capacity. Is that everybody's immediately expecting Titanfall 3. Do not get me wrong, I want Titanfall 3. However, I don't think that that's a fair judgment for people to have immediately put on at the moment he mentioned Titanfall, the Titanfall devs either, is because he did say former Titanfall devs, former Respawn devs who had made Titanfall, and it's like, okay, is it going to be a successor or is it going to be something new? And it turned out to be something new. It just turned out to not be good, Yeah. But I do think that like I'm partially guilty of it, but I don't like hold them like at gunpoint, like when it turns out to not be a Titanfall thing, and be like, how fucking dare you? It's like, please, aww, like I want Titanfall 3 as much as anybody else.
At this point, Jeff, it'd be better for Jeff to just stop bringing up Titanfall.
For honestly, the amount of times he's like half teased me like, Titanfall, and then nothing comes, and it's like, Jeff, you know what you're doing, shut up.
Yeah, like, you're literally just pissing people off at that point.
One of the rumors that I heard, which, like, I can definitely see happening, or having had happened, but obviously there's no confirmation, because who knows what's going on behind the scenes with game dev and stuff, is that, because they're one of the biggest rumors, and this it felt a lot more substantiated this time, because it's always a rumor at every single Game Awards, Summer Game Fest, E3, yada yada yada, PC game show. It was Half-Life 3 this year.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely know a lot about that one.
Yeah.
And same with that, the reason why they backed out, why the rumor is that they backed out was because of the RAM increase.
Yes.
Because it was going to be a launch title for the Steam machine.
Exactly. Because, like, it would make sense because they did the same thing with Half-Life Alyx back with Index.
The Index. Yep.
So it makes sense that, like, because is the Steam machine out now, or did they delay that too?
No. It's been delayed indefinitely.
Yeah.
Till they can get at least some, like, changes, or actually get a
so
good supply of RAM.
That's exactly where I was heading to, that was the rumor that I heard as well, was that Half-Life 3 was supposed to finally show up at Game Awards this year. And
or just something Valve.
Yeah, like, Valve was supposed to, like, I from what I understand, it was supposed to be Valve announcing something. And again, this is just a rumor, so obviously take it with a grain of salt. This is secondhand info. From what I have heard and seen online through Reddit and Blue Sky and Twitter posts that I've been sent, is that it was supposed to be Half-Life 3 for the grand finale reveal at the Game Awards. But exactly that, because it was supposed to be a launch title for the Steam machine, but because of the increase in RAM prices and now GPU prices again, they delayed the Steam machine and thus pulled back from revealing Half-Life 3 or whatever it is they're working on as the launch title for it until they get that whole situation sorted out to a point where they can actually release the Steam machine the way that they want to. Because it was, from what I know, like, I don't plan on getting a Steam machine. I already have an expensive ass PC, but it's basically just gonna be like a mini computer / console that plays all your Steam games, whether on
pretty much
PC
exactly what
or
it is.
TV, and it's like, hell yeah. But it's also set to launch like $700 USD, which I cannot remotely afford. So I wasn't planning on getting one, but you know,
I just bought like a $5,000 PC. And
exactly.
It's like,
so
I'm never gonna need a Steam machine.
Yeah, but like
I've got my own right here, Smack's computer.
It is a really awesome like thing for people who can't afford like a full gaming PC,
100%.
And who want to like be able to play PC games and not be locked onto a console. You know, because the Steam machine will last probably a lot longer than a console with like how fast tech is going. Because settings are more configurable on PC games, which would be for Steam machine. So I do think I love the concept of the Steam machine. I won't be able to get one, but that's one of the things that I heard is like, yeah, Highguard kind of got shoved into that last spot because they needed something for the grand finale, and Valve had pulled back from revealing Half-Life 3 or whatever it is that they have, so they threw Highguard there. Because, it comes out in just a few weeks, but I think that was to its detriment in the long run, and it should have just been Divinity as the closer. Or again, like I said, actually, there could have been 3 games as the closing instead of Highguard. They could have done Divinity, I think, is the biggest one, or one of the 2 biggest ones. I would actually put Control Resonant as 3 to show off, even though...
That's true.
Because that was the first reveal of Control Resonant 2, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'd never heard anything before it.
Yeah, I would actually put Control Resonant down at 3rd place for the closing spot. The other one that I would say, or I guess 2nd place, but tied for 1st place, quite honestly, for the closer could have been Fate of the Old Republic.
That is true.
Because I don't think
so hyped for
anybody saw that one coming. Divinity got leaked. I heard, like, I had heard that. Yeah, no, the statue's Divinity. This is Divinity. It's confirmed Divinity. I didn't hear rumors about Fate of the Old Republic, and I don't think nearly as many people were expecting it. So when it got shown as the opener, it was like, holy shit. And with the original developer, like the original director back on board for it, it's like
the thing with that actually was it was actually a kind of a half rumor, I guess you could say. Because people were, with all the like internal postings and everything that people were finding, people assumed it was going to be a KOTOR remake.
That's the thing,
done by the original devs.
There was originally a KOTOR remake in development, but I think it got scrapped. I think it got like caught up in severe development hell. But yeah, no, so now we have FOTOR coming out, which is like, let's fucking go.
Done by the same people. It's like, yo,
yeah,
I
like
am so hyped for this.
That could have been the closer, and I think that would have also blown everybody away. The reason why I jumped to Divinity as the closer is because of like the little presentation they had before it with the people in the robes getting hoisted off into the air on the cables. That felt like, that kind of reminded me a bit in a way of how they did the Okami reveal last year, where they had like the person banging the drum before it switched over to the commercial or the trailer for it.
Yeah.
I think that they could have easily done that with. Why does it keep doing that to me? It could have easily done that with Divinity for the closing. I think that would have just felt more like that would have flowed well.
Oh, absolutely. And because from a former Game Awards.
Exactly. Like that's another reason why it's like Larian coming off the heels of Baldur's Gate 3 2 years later being like, hey, we won 2 years ago. Here, look at this. Like, I think that would have worked perfectly instead of throwing Highguard in there. But
yeah,
back to this is we're getting a little bit sidetracked, but like that's okay because
when aren't we?
Honestly, this series is not meant to be concise. It's supposed to be, hey, here's the topic we want to talk about. Whatever we get to is what we get to.
Let's yap.
Let's yap. We will get to the point of the main topic eventually. I also hate that this isn't meant to be like a podcast either. Like, because it's not.
What's up, guys?
Here's the thing, like we're not like doing this to be like let's start a podcast. There's no production value, there's no consistency. This is, hey, there's something I want to talk about, let's sit and do basically like a recorded just chatting stream about it for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm freaking playing Power Washing in Sim 2 in the background of this, like
real, bro.
I'm just
real
chilling and yapping.
But yeah, no, there's a lot that happened at the Game Awards, but Control Resonant got shown off, and now, like I said, the new CEO of Remedy is a former EA executive who is very big into sports betting and was doing that for a career for a while. Sports betting sites, woo, which is deeply concerning.
Yeah.
Now, it's a very mixed bag on this, because on one hand, like, I don't think Control Resonant is going to be super affected by it, because I think it's far enough. I think it's well into development at this point that it's not going to like be affected by this new CEO coming in. And there's not 100% guarantee that this new CEO coming in is going to tremendously shake things up. But at the same time, we've seen things like that happen in the past. Where
actually, my main question about this is: Sam Lake still at the studio?
No, he's still at the studio.
Okay,
he's their lead developer. He was not the CEO.
He is the face. of Remedy.
He is their lead.
With that chin? Like, you can't have him not be there drinking coffee.
Sam Lake is like the lead director of the the development team, but he is not the CEO of Remedy. He is to Remedy, in my from my knowledge, he is to Remedy what Kojima was to Konami. Of like their top guy in the games development department, like the lead for their big stuff.
Yeah.
But he's not the CEO. You know.
Okay.
Like Metal, like as big as Silent Hill is, Metal Gear was arguably Konami's biggest franchise, and Kojima was like the face of that. But he wasn't the CEO. He was a higher up, but he wasn't a CEO. Whereas Sam Lake, again, is like the lead director for Remedy games between Max Payne, Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control, but he's not
And pretty much everything.
pretty like I said, he is the
Payne
lead director and developer for Remedy, but he's not the CEO of Remedy.
Okay.
So the former CEO is gone. Sam Lake is still there. We still got Swedish Hideo Kojima.
Thank God. Because he has cups. He goes and has coffee with Kojima too. So,
or is he Swedish or is he Finnish? I can never remember. I think he's Finnish.
Well, I'll double check.
Yeah, it's one of the two. I mix up which one he is all the time. But I'd love to see. Okay, he is Finnish. Okay, I'd love to see Kojima and Sam Lake collab. I'd love to see a game from the two of them. Also, I'm really hyped for OD. Speaking of Kojima,
and his new game too.
Oh, Fizzant,
yeah. I'm super excited for that.
I'm very excited. I want to get through all of Metal Gear before Fizzant comes out for sure.
I will make you.
I'm getting there. Hey, we started Metal Gear 1.
And you definitely didn't struggle.
Nope, nothing. No crash outs happened at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, I was laughing so hard. I apologize.
Unironically, I was. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm not gonna get into it again. That room was bullshit. Fuck that room in particular. Everything else was fine. That room sucked. Anyway.
I'm gonna stream the Metal Gear Solid 1 just to show you,
spite me,
to one-shot it. Yeah.
The controls were also fighting me aggressively in that room as well.
That is also just
that was straight up PS1.
Tank controls are rough.
Quite honestly, I think once we get onto MGS2, it's gonna go a lot smoother. But yeah. I've still enjoyed the rest of it for that point. Also, it's really funny because Gigi's also a big fan of Metal Gear. And I don't know if I told you, but I ranted to her about it as well.
Yeah, you didn't tell me this.
I did not?
No.
Oh, so hang on a second here. Let me see here.
She call you stupid?
No. So I messaged her after the stream because she'd asked me to wait until I can be there to watch you go through Metal Gear because I'm a big fan of the franchise. I want to see you go through it, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But then she was busy. But now she's like, you know what? No, stream it, play it. I'm not gonna stop you from enjoying a game. However, you're not allowed to stream Metal Gear 4 unless I'm there to watch it. I'm like, that's fair.
Yes. Same
because that one's her favorite in the series is 4.
Honestly, extremely based opinion.
So I went on a minor rant, and I was may have had a bit of a crash. I was trying to get through a single room for over an hour because the version of MGS1 on Steam is just a really bad port. Because that's the thing, you're also saying it was really funny and bad itself, but you also acknowledged during the stream that something was not right because both with the saving not working the way it's supposed to, and just throwing back to the start of the room
as well. And a lot of people were having that issue.
Yeah, so and then we found out they just got the cheapest emulator they could for it, and it was just really bad. So I messaged that rant to her, but I was looking at the reviews and discussions, I'm not the only one who's had this problem. I know I'll have a much better time with the rest of the games, because 2 and 3 on Steam have really good reviews, but fuck MGS1 on Steam is rough. And her immediate response to Snake Eater on 3DS be like...
Oh, okay, never mind. You did send me that. You did send me that one. And yeah.
It's damn, I don't even want to know what trying to play Snake Eater on 3DS was like. I almost bought Delta, but because it was only
I was very tempted to, but I will be streaming that.
Yeah, it was only
eventually.
$35 on sale.
It was 43.
Whatever. It was more than half off on sale, and I was
yeah.
Do I want to get it? But then I realized I don't want to, because I was I'm going to get the rest of the games, might as well grab Delta at the same time, but then I'm that's another almost $50. And also, I think it'd be very jarring to go from PS2 graphics with MGS2 right to current gen right back down to PS3 graphics.
Yeah.
So I will get Delta, and I will stream, Delta, but I'm just gonna do it after I've streamed the other ones.
Yes, that would also be my recommendation.
Yeah.
Because by base default, Delta plays differently than 3.
That's what I've heard as well, is that like it has a much more modernized style as well.
Yes. You can swap technically.
Yeah.
To play it with the old way with like fixed camera angles, stuff like that.
Yeah. I've heard it's better to like play the original first and then play Delta, because there are some changes here and there that like you kind of want to have that original game experience. So that's what I plan to do. I may or may not do, because I think the collections come with like the I think is it Volume 1 or that came with Peace Walker, or Volume 2 is coming with Peace Walker?
Volume 2 is coming with Peace Walker.
Yeah, and
Peace Walker and MGS4.
Yeah, and what is there another like handheld one on the collection one? I already don't remember.
Another handheld one? No. The only one that was handheld. Well, I mean.
Oh, okay, no.
Metal Gear Solid 3, but
it came with 1 and 2. That's what it is. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which I'm not playing like Metal Gear 1 and 2. Oh shit! Preload is ready for Requiem.
Requiem?
Resident Evil. Shoc, that drops tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, that comes out.
That's out tomorrow. It's getting, I believe it's getting a midnight release, meaning 9 p.m.
Oh, well, I know what you're doing tomorrow night.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow night. I only work until 4:30, so I'll be ready to go right at launch, baby. Yeah, no, fuck Final Fantasy Rebirth, fuck Metal Gear Solid. It's finally time. No, I don't. I'm gonna be up all fucking night. Well, not all night, but it's gonna be a late stream and it's gonna be a long stream. We are finally getting to play Requiem. Oh, so by the time you're watching this, that'll be tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific. That I'm gonna be streaming Resident Evil Requiem if you're watching this when it comes out.
Raggy the Ghost.
You cut out. Shoc? Shoc?
Raggy the Ghost.
There we go.
Hello?
Hello? Hi. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me, Shoc?
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that was weird.
I could hear you the whole time.
Oh, I couldn't hear it. I heard you say Raggy the Ghost, and you were gone.
Oh, no, I was like, after you said that, I was like, at twitch.tv.Raggy the Ghost.
Yeah, it like faded you out. Like, I think you like went a bit too loud, and it might have like peaked out the microphone. I don't know. That was weird. But welcome back.
Oh well.
Oh well.
I'm not real anyways.
Yeah, no. If you're watching this when this video drops, Requiem tonight, 9 p.m. PST. Twitch link down below.
Be there.
I am
be square.
I'm so hyped, dude. I've been waiting for this game for so fucking long now. Leon is like, okay, here's the thing. I know that there's leaks online already. I have not seen any, thank God. I have been staying offline as much as possible the last few days because people got their hands on Requiem early.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it you that sent it to me? Or who was it that sent it? No, it was Kat who sent it. By the way, shout out to Kat. Kat is a very frequent member of the community. He's always around. Really, really awesome dude. Shout out to Kat because without Kat, the stream would not be happening. I was very much braced to not be able to play Requiem at launch. Kat gifted me the deluxe edition of the game. So huge shout out to Kat. And he's like, you don't have to. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to. But yeah, no, he sent me a couple pictures earlier here. Hideki Kamiya or Kamiya.
Oh yeah.
I hear his name pronounced in 20 different ways, and it's like I don't know.
Hideki Kamiya.
Hideki Kamiya, that's what I thought it was, but yeah. Former Resident Evil director says people that leak spoilers, quote-unquote, deserve 1,000 deaths.
Yeah, he's so based.
Yeah. Hideki Kamiya directed Resident Evil 2 and also had to deal with the game being exposed in magazines. Quote-unquote, a detestable act that destroys everyone's happiness and deserves 1,000 deaths. May you be cursed to never play games again.
Yeah, he's so based. I love him.
Fucking, he's so funny too. Because I know that on Twitter, he's notorious for just blocking people for the most mundane, petty things.
Yep.
Like if you speak English to him when he's in a bad mood, he'll just block you.
Yeah, literally. I love the man. He's I strive to be like that man.
He has such an aura about him. It's so funny.
He does.
Yeah, no, can't wait for Requiem. I've been dodging spoilers like a motherfucker. I've been staying off of everything except for YouTube.
I have luckily only heard one thing, which technically isn't really a spoiler.
I do not want to hear anything about it.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say, and this is purely my speculation from the trailers, Leon is dying. I
think so too.
I don't think Leon Kennedy is making it to the end of this game. Due to one, the developers have already come out and said they built this game to be a Leon game, but because Leon is so jaded and has been through so much shit, he's not a good horror protagonist anymore because he doesn't get scared. He's so over everything that, he just doesn't do horror as a good protagonist.
Heard people say that I don't know if this is true or not, that he does still do his quips.
Oh no, I would expect that as well. I would expect that as well. But because of that, because it wasn't as scary with just Leon as the protag, because of that, they that's why they added Grace Ashcroft in.
Yeah.
As a second playable protagonist. So you have Leon's, which are more actiony and built for third person. You have Grace's that are first person, more survival horror like 7 and 8. But from what I also know, I don't know if this has been confirmed or denied, but from what I know, you can also switch between first and third mode for each character.
Yes,
depending
I believe that was already confirmed. I'm pretty sure that was already confirmed in a devlog.
And one thing that I've heard that I don't know if it's true or not, because I don't think I saw it from an official source, is that it might also from what I understand, it's a 50-50 split between Grace and Leon playtime.
Uh-huh.
But again, I do not know if this is confirmed. I guess I'll find out tomorrow night. But one thing that I did read is that it's either confirmed or it's speculation that it'll kind of be an Alan Wake 2 scenario where you can swap characters kind of at will.
Okay.
But again, I do not know if that's confirmed or not. This is just stuff that I've seen on Blue Sky and Reddit that I can't confirm or deny.
The thing that I've seen people talk about, well, this is also one thing that's I don't know for certain. But I have heard people talk about that they think that there's multiple endings. Maybe.
That'd be, honestly, for Resident Evil multiple endings, that's weird. But also at the same time, I don't know how...
Because that could either be referring to, basically, different route endings. An ending for, Ashcroft. And then an ending for Leon. Or it could be that the endings are tied together and there is actually multiple endings.
Yeah, well,
who knows?
Because at the same time, that kind of was a thing in 2 and 3 as well, the originals in a way.
Uh-huh.
But not multiple endings necessarily, but different routes. For the original Resident Evil Nemesis.
Yeah, I played Resident Evil 2 and it had the different routes. And stuff.
The remake kind of butchered it as much as Remake 2 is a phenomenal game. It did butcher the routes, the playthroughs a little bit. Yeah, but I'll get into that in a moment. With Remake 3 is mediocre at best.
Haven't played it.
And I say that as somebody who still had fun with the remake of 3. But they cut so much out of an already very short game. You can finish Remake 3 in about 4 hours.
Damn.
Like, here, let me switch, let me view my channel.
This episode has a full playthrough attached of Resident Evil 3 Remake in under 4 hours.
No, I'm going to check my VOD because I did it all in one stream a couple years ago. Right before Remake 4 came out. I replayed 2 and 3.
I still need to play Remake 4.
Yeah, Remake 3 I finished in 4.5 hours. Including opening screen, ad break, BRBs, the whole game from start to finish. Yeah, it took me 4.5 hours from start to finish, including breaks, to finish Resi 3 Remake.
Damn.
In the original version of Resi 3, you had like multiple choices at certain areas, which would affect like how the next bit would play out. I believe it affected the fate of some of the characters. It affected what kind of items you would be able to pick up, etc., etc. They cut out an entire location from the remake, which is the clock tower, which is a very like pivotal moment in the game in the original, and they just cut it out entirely from Remake 3.
Damn.
Yeah. And then also another major thing about the OG version of 3 is that Nemesis is around the whole game. Like he will show up when he feels like showing up. He in the original he functions in like a more, well, like it was PS1, so like I guess more primitive I guess is the word, but like you know what I mean. Like he worked like an old version of Tyrant, Mr. X from Resi 2 Remake, where he shows up and
he just has a chance to just
you just have to fucking get out. You can same thing in Remake, you can fight him and deal enough damage and it'll stun him and then he drops an item and then he fucks off. But he can show up throughout the whole game. Whereas in Resi 3 Remake, he can show up in Raccoon City at the start of the game. And then after that, he just has set points where it's like, here's a cutscene in the boss fight, and that's it. Yeah, because Resi 3 Remake, like I said, I finished it in 4.5 hours. How long is Resident Evil 3... Not Remake, Nemesis... the original Nemesis is about 6 to 7 hours.
Oh god, yeah.
On average.
They cut out a chunk.
Yeah, and so 3 Remake being 4.5 hours is it's missing a whole hour and a half to 2 hours of content right there. So it definitely could have been done better. Remake 2 is a phenomenal survival horror game. The only real thing about it that I have a criticism of is, one, the sewers kind of slog on a little bit. I have issues with the sewers in both the original and the remake of Resi 2, but for different reasons. Resident Evil 2 Remake, the sewers just kind of drag, in my opinion. Yeah. They just kind of go too long. And it could have been, a little bit of it could have been cut down and it would have just felt a lot better paced. It just kind of halts the pace of the game entirely for like an hour.
Yeah.
Whereas in the original, the sewers is literally a hallway full of zombies for you to just ammo dump into to drain your resources before you go on to the lab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in Remake 2, the sewers are too long, and in Original 2, the sewers is basically just a hallway full of zombies.
Yeah.
Drain your resources, and now you're lower on resources for the underground lab. And that's about it.
Okay.
So, sewers in 2 kind of suck in both versions of the game, but I it's like such like a minor complaint. It's like one area. I do think that it dragging might be kind of worse as a whole.
Huh.
Just because it's like, again, it completely fucks the pacing of the game at one point. But that's a very minor thing. The other is with these scenarios. So in Resident Evil 2 Original, you can pick playing as either Leon or Claire for scenario A, and then you have scenario B where you play through the opposite character. And you kind of have that in Remake 2, but it's not as in-depth. So with you've played Remake 2 through, right?
Yes.
And you've gotten the true ending, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you know that
It's
when
the
you
only
play...
Resident Evil game I've played.
So you know that when you play through Resi 2 Remake, you pick Leon or Claire, you go through their story, and then you get an abridged version of the other character's perspective of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do that with Leon, and then you can do that with Claire, same thing.
Claire. Yeah.
But the difference is that with the original version of it, your choices that you make on scenario A would directly affect scenario B. It wasn't an abridged version of the game like it is in Remake 2. Like, let's say that you started off scenario A as Claire, right? And you found, I think it's a grenade launcher in a room. And you pick it up, it will not be there for Leon. But if you leave it as Claire, then you can collect it as Leon on scenario B.
Oh.
And so on. And vice versa. And I think the canon route in Resi 2 is Leon scenario A, Claire scenario B, if I remember correctly. Just like how in Resi 1 you can choose to play as Jill or Chris, and I believe Chris is canon in Resi 1, but I might be wrong. It might be Jill. But I'm not going to look it up right now. But yeah. I think it's Chris because in Chris's playthrough you see Rebecca, and Rebecca's the main character of Resi 0. But she doesn't appear at all in Jill's playthrough, so I think that Chris's playthrough is the canon one. But either way, well, we've gotten way sidetracked from the original topic here. God damn.
Yeah, we're balling, dude.
We're balling, dude. I mean, again, that's what this series is, though. It's just us yapping and talking. We have a topic that we want to get to, and we will get to it, and we will discuss it throughout. But it's a lot of us just yapping and, just chatting. Because again, it's just like a pre-recorded, glorified, just chatting stream. Because, so something to keep content up on YouTube. But yeah, no, very excited for Resi. One of the play Remake 4 if you can, because it is actually just 10 out of 10. Like, honestly, I'd put it above like the Dead Space remake. And I really like the Dead Space remake.
Yeah.
It's as much as I love the original version of 4, in my opinion, like, nothing is ever going to change, like, the influence that Resident Evil 4 had on not just Resident Evil, but video games as a whole. Because Resident Evil 4, the original, kind of set the standard for, like, third-person shooters. Mm-hmm. Like, over-the-shoulder shooters. However, that said, I personally think that Remake 4 is the definitive way to play 4. And that might be a hot take for some people, but because of how third-person shooters have, like, progressed and evolved, it just feels more natural, because you can't run and shoot in Original 4. You have to stop and now use your mouse or controller to aim your reticle to shoot your gun, like your laser sight. You can't run and shoot. You have to completely halt your movement entirely.
Okay.
Yeah, it plays a lot smoother. it still has its tense moments of horror, even if it is like a more action-centric game, but 4 always kind of was. It does lose some of like the campiness, I will say. So definitely like still play the original version of 4. Because 4 is a very campy game. But it does lose...
I technically do have original 4.
Yeah, it does lose like a lot of the campiness that gave it its charm. But as far as like a gameplay experience goes, I think that Remake is much more enjoyable physically to play. You know? But both games have their pros, both games have their cons. Like, it does, that one comes down, I'd say, a lot more to personal, I mean, it all comes down to personal opinion, but like, I do think that out of the 3 remakes, 4 is the best of the 3.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think Leon's gonna be dying in Requiem because one, like I said, through all the shit that he's been through, he's so jaded and not like the devs have said he doesn't really work as well as a horror protagonist anymore because of, you know, everything he's been through and how like cynical and like over it he is, and how he's like, well, it's zombies. Bang,
What
bang.
a surprise. We need, like, if anything, if he survives this, we need spin-off games of Leon just going against, like, horrid abominations against God.
And that's just Resi 4.
I just make it worse.
That's literally just Salazar in Resi 4, if I'm being so for real.
I'll get there eventually.
What should we call it? Oh god. Yeah, and the devs have also said this is going to be Leon's last game. So, and also like, you saw the most recent trailer, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't see the one from the State of Play?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. So basically, there's some kind of disease going around that has been affecting survivors of the Raccoon City incident. 6 people have died from it already, and then Leon, like, takes off his gloves and his hands have, like, these veiny, like...
We already know that, though.
Yeah.
Because in the promo art, when Leon was first revealed, you can see it on his neck.
Yeah, so
we knew he was infected with something.
With all of that together, I think that Leon is going to die. And that would be... If I'm right, if that does happen, it would be such a ballsy move from Capcom to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, quite honestly, it would cause such a shit show online. Like, it's gonna be Joel from The Last of Us all over again. If they do that. Actually, it might even be worse than them killing Joel.
Yeah, because Leon's been around for so much longer.
Yeah, Leon's had a much deeper history. But honestly, like, I think killing off...
And the Leon simps.
I think killing off a main character in a 9 mainline game deep franchise. There's more than just the 9 games. There's Revelations, there's Revelations 2, there's Outbreak 2. Like there's Code Veronica, which is also getting a remake from what I know. Like Resident Evil is a huge franchise. As much as like it would be like some people would absolutely hate it, I do think that killing off a main character would, you know, would be like a huge like twist to a game like this.
Oh yeah, I honestly think it'd be a good idea.
I think so too. As much as I love Leon, I do think that them killing him off would be the best move they could make.
Like he's had his time.
And even knowing that, like, well, not knowing, but like even with like that being like he's going to die, if they do, it's still gonna hit me like a freight train when it happens. You know?
Oh yeah.
That's the thing, like, because Leon has been through so much shit, but his luck has to run out sometime, and I feel like this is that game. And I think that's because I've seen some people be like, why are we going back to Raccoon City? We've already been to Raccoon City. And I think Riddle was saying that, oh, it looks like they retconned them nuking Raccoon City to like a thermobaric nuke instead that just raised the place. That it's like, if I remember in one of the trailers, it shows like a map where you see Raccoon City from above, and there's a huge crater next to Raccoon City. So I think they bombed right next to Raccoon City, because I believe they outright acknowledge that it is a nuke in 2 and 3 remakes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just they nuked next to Raccoon City and didn't actually nuke the city itself. So it still got
Which,
the full...
in a sense, would make sense.
Yeah.
Because they're aware of what Umbrella has done. But if they drop a nuke directly in the city and it just raises everything to the ground, you have no evidence.
Exactly. So by the looks of the map and everything, they didn't drop the nuke directly on the city. They dropped it near the city enough that it wiped out everything in the city, but kept the city itself standing-ish.
Mostly intact.
Yeah.
Well,
so
semi-intact.
Semi-intact.
I wouldn't even say mostly.
Yeah, I honestly, mostly is a stretch as well. And, like, I think that having Leon, of all characters, go back to Raccoon City, and at the end of, like, the last trailer, going back to the RPD, like, this feels very full circle and end of the road for Leon from every angle that I can look at it.
It very much does.
Like, this feels like it's it for Leon. And as much as that is going to hit like a sack of bricks, I think it's for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm very excited to start this game. I'm very excited to see how this ends. I wonder if they're going to incorporate Rose into it at all, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Because we know she's working with, them.
Honestly, I loved it in the moment, but, like, the more I, like, look back in hindsight and, like look back on it, I do think that the Rose DLC for Resi 8 was very okay at best. Because I look back at playing through Village, and I remember every single moment. I loved the game. It was definitely more action-focused and less, like, survival horror-centric as I would have liked, especially coming right off of 7.
Yeah.
Because 7 is, in my opinion, by far the scariest Resident Evil game.
I still need to play the other games.
I'd love to watch you play through 7. It'd be so funny. Actually, if you haven't got it this month, if you don't already own it, Humble Bundle, you still got a few days left to grab it, has Village, I think, full edition with the DLC.
I'm too poor.
So, like, it's like $16.
That depends, honestly, if I have any money in my bank.
If you can get Village for $16, get Village. Then you get all the other games, and if you don't want any of them, we can always throw them into giveaways for charity streams.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited for this game. It's going to be a hell of a time. But yeah, no, looking back on Village, like, I played through Village several times, loved it. I played through the Rose DLC for Village once, and I remember a single section where you're back in the house where the weird creepy baby thing was. And there's, like, doll mannequin enemies that are chasing you. And that is the only moment in the DLC that stood out to me.
Damn.
So, yeah, if that tells you anything, yeah. Whereas there's a lot in base Village that was like, god damn, holy shit, love that. So.
And, 9 foot tall goth.
9 foot tall vampire mommy,
Yeah. It's gonna beat your skull in.
Still love that picture where it's like the double blimp and it's like, well, Ethan Winters.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, how long? We've been at this for an hour and 16. God damn. Okay.
God damn.
I'm gonna redirect us back to the original topic at hand here. And then we can ramble about whatever else after for however long we want to ramble. Back to Remedy. So, this new CEO, I think it's a 50-50 on how this whole situation is gonna go. Because, like I said way earlier on in this video, I do think that Control Resonant is kind of a do or die, like a make or break moment for Remedy.
Mm-hmm.
From what I heard, I saw a video of somebody talking about it earlier today or yesterday, that their target to basically recoup their costs and make a profit on this game. Like a good enough profit would be to sell 3 to 4 million copies across across its lifetime.
Yeah.
Which, considering that this is being self-published, it's going to be releasing on PC.
Everything.
It's going to be on Steam. It's going to be on Epic. It's going to be on PS5. It's going to be on Xbox. It's going to be on everything, except for I think it's not. I don't think it's going to be on Switch, but it's going to be on everything else. I think that's very possible, especially with how many people have now seen Alan Wake, Control, Alan Wake 2. I think that there's a lot more eyes on Control Resonant. Remedy still makes very niche games.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, that's kind of the reason why they're my favorite game studio. Is
they take challenges.
They take risks, and they're uncompromising on their vision is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, even looking at Firebreak, Firebreak may have come out as it may have flopped when it came out, but it was a game that they wanted to make. It just didn't, it's not their normal style of game in any capacity, so they just weren't quite equipped and prepared to make that style of game.
Yeah.
But it was still like what they wanted to make it, and they stuck to their vision regardless.
Yeah. Even though it didn't pan out, huge props to them.
Yeah,
because they did what they wanted to do.
Yes, and
not a lot of developers, especially nowadays, can say that.
Yeah, and I'll even throw that out to Highguard as well. Despite it coming out and being hey, it has all these issues, and it flopped, and nobody's playing it now, and half the staff is gone. I still respect the fact that they stuck to their vision, even if it didn't pan out. You know?
I personally, for me, I put how the game does and reception apart from the creation.
Yeah.
Because some of my favorite games, they might not have done that well, but the vision is there, the art is there, it's so good.
That's why Alan Wake 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. Is it's more of a cult hit than it was a commercial success. It released the same either week or the same day. It released in the same at the very least it released in the same week as Mario Galaxy, I think 1 or maybe it was 2, and Red Dead Redemption.
One of them. Yeah. It was up against big competition.
It came out at the worst possible time, even though there were people who were interested in it and saw it. If you're going to buy one game and there's a brand new IP that is being made by a studio who's made Max Payne, and that's it, and you may or may not be a Max Payne fan, the third-person shooter psychological thriller that looks kind of weird and is a brand new IP, or the new Mario game, or Rockstar's brand new Western cowboy shooter, you're gonna go for one of those two. Chances are you're gonna go for Red Dead or Mario Galaxy over Alan Wake, unfortunately. But people who did go for Alan Wake loved it for the most part. And that's why it was a cult classic, and why for 13 years, fans of the series, people who played it at launch when it came out, who have played it over the years, who discovered it later on, have been begging for a sequel, and we finally got it, and it was a 10 out of 10, absolute masterpiece. That's why I love Remedy, is that even if it's not a safe game, technically, they take the risk and they stick to their vision, and I love that, because they put, again, they're niche games, but they put out some of the most well-crafted, visibly passionate, lovingly crafted games, and some of the most unique games I've ever played, and they don't back down from their vision. If this is what they're making it. And you either like it or you don't.
I've never played a game that's got the same kind of feel as Alan Wake. It's unique.
Exactly.
It took risks.
Alan Wake is a unique game. Alan Wake 2 is a completely different game than Alan Wake 1.
Eventually get Alan Wake 2 and play it.
But it feels gameplay wise it's a whole different game. Alan Wake 1 is is an action shooter with a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
Alan Wake 2 is pure survival horror, resource management. 2 or 3 enemies at a time can absolutely destroy you in an instant on anything above easy. And it's tense, it's unsettling, I love it. And, like, Control is such a trippy mindfuck of a game. Sci-fi action with some cosmic horror elements in there. And out of all of this, out of all these games, Remedy is coming out and saying that Control Resonant is not a safe sequel.
Yeah.
That's concerning in the best way.
I have one hope for Control 2. We need more Audie, man.
I need Ati.
Like, have him pop up just in this hellish landscape.
Shoc?
He's just there.
Shoc? If it helps you get to it faster, Ati is in Alan Wake 2.
Good. Very good.
Ati is in Alan Wake 2. He even has like a whole like he sing a song on stage. Oh my god. Yeah, no. I'm sure we're gonna see more Ati. Cause in Control 2 you don't play as Jesse, you play as Dylan.
Yeah, the brother.
You've played through Control, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember if you played Control yet or not.
Yeah, no, I have.
Yeah, you play as Dylan, Jesse's brother. And instead of having the gun, because he's not the director, therefore the weapon is not bound to him.
Not bound to him, yeah.
He instead it's looking more like a DMC hack and slash almost, which I'm very down for.
I saw the trailer.
So
and it looks incredible.
It's a different genre of game altogether, despite still being weird, trippy sci-fi, probably with more cosmic horror. It's a whole different style of game, but it already is looking like it's going to be an even weirder game than Control, and that's saying a lot because Control is just insane. Like there's so much in Control that like just happens and is so easy to like miss the explanation for. I love the not SCP Foundation, bro.
I know, right?
But yeah, no, I'm very excited for Resonant. That is the next number 1 game on my list to get this year. Top 3 games for this year. Requiem, which I have now. It's out tomorrow. Control, Resonant, and then Wolverine comes out in September.
Yeah. And
I'm very hyped for Wolverine as well. But not as hyped as I am for Control. But I will be doing my absolute best to stream both day one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Townfall, I think, is coming out this year as well. So, yeah, Townfall is actually, like, tied with Resonant for top of the list. That's another one that we'll talk about after we finish talking about Remedy, is Townfall, because I'm very excited.
Which was Townfall? The Silent Hill?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And we'll get into, like, why I'm excited about that one as well, which I kind of talked about during the reveals, but... Yeah, no. So... I think that Resonant is far enough along in development that it's safe from this new CEO joining on.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a good or a bad thing. Because it's happened before where a new CEO has come in and been like, okay, we're going to start turning a profit. Live service microtransactions. Fuck your creativity. Play it safe. Go. Which is not Remedy's style. And if that is what ends up happening, Remedy will not be Remedy anymore. And unfortunately, everything that makes them such a unique developer will die if that happens.
Yeah.
So I'm very much hoping that that's not the case. Whereas there is also the chance that he's coming in and he's just going to, hey, like, not necessarily cut. There is a chance that he could come in and go, what can we like cut back on to make development easier? You know, like he very well could come in and make positive changes that don't compromise the vision of the game while also helping to not go over budget and bring in money. But at the end of the day, and like, he also does have experience with live service games. So if Remedy decided they wanted to try something like Firebreak again, they now have a new CEO who has been in that market and who
He's knowledgeable about said product.
Say what you will about EA, like, they do have, I think, like, they have one of the biggest live service games going right now with Apex. That is EA, right? Pretty sure it's EA.
That is EA.
Yeah. It's not as big now as it was, but like, you know.
Yeah, it's not as big anymore.
But it, like, you know, but like, he has, like, it was one of the biggest live service games for several years there.
Yeah.
So, you know, he does have that knowledge, as much as
the experience.
As much as I hate to say it. So, if they were to try to do something like that again, then they do have somebody who has that experience there. Another thing that I think is a positive is that when he left EA and came back to EA, he was also the head of like overseas and foreign relations and publishing, which could help Remedy to more easily break into an overseas market. China in particular is a very difficult market to break into in terms of video games. So that could assist them there to bring in more sales. It
Don't make
really
the blood white, I swear to God.
It really all depends on... Actually, it doesn't really all depend on any one thing. It depends on a lot of factors. Like, the direction it's going to go is, like, how this new CEO is. Like, we have to... It's just a wait-and-see scenario, and it sucks because, like I've said, Remedy is, like, whereas Final Fantasy is my favorite franchise, Square Enix makes some fucking decisions of all time.
Yeah.
Whereas Remedy, aside from 2 games, both being games that are outside their normal wheelhouse, being not third person, being like multiplayer shooters. Again, Crossfire X and FBC Firebreak. Aside from those 2, they've put out phenomenal games. Remedy is an incredible single-player, story-driven game studio.
Yeah.
So I would absolutely hate to see this new CEO come in and take that soul away, you know?
Yeah. I don't want to see another Halo situation.
Yeah, no. Like, that's the thing. It's... This is very much we have to wait and see, as much as it sucks, and I'm really hoping for the best because I love Remedy, and I want to see them succeed, and I want to see them continue to be able to keep their creative vision intact while also, you know, crazy thought, actually making money for their efforts.
Yeah.
And I think that them self-publishing now is... Well, actually, I don't think. Like, them self-publishing now is both a positive but also a negative, because on one hand, them self-publishing, they don't have to worry about who's going to publish their game, who's going to pick us up, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. They're publishing their own game. They don't need to worry about shareholders for a publisher being like, well, we got to get this game out now, you have to release it now, we don't care if it's ready, we want our money now. They don't have that. They don't have that worry. They don't have, you know, a lot of that. Like, Remedy, I believe, would still have shareholders that are like, okay, we want money, put something out. But it's not as drastic as having a publisher on your ass as well, telling you, hurry up and finish this game. But on the other hand, it's also very risky, because now, if the game comes out and it flops, that is now entirely out of their pocket and they could go from perfectly fine to in the red in the blink of an eye. And that could be the end of them if a game flops hard enough. So, Firebreak was already a pretty big knock, and that's why I say that Control Resonant is kind of a make or break for Remedy, is because I do think with this new CEO coming in, and also I will say, like, because they've said for a while now their target goal is like 3 to 4 million. Since the new CEO has come in, they have not, that goal has not been shifted, has not been changed, that has been kept where it is. So I do think that he's, like, avoiding touching that as much as he can, and I think that that is a good thing that he's letting them still do it the way they've been doing it.
Yeah.
And again, with it being on Steam, I think that gives a lot more people the opportunity to buy it, because some people just will not buy off of Epic, like Trash, for example.
Yeah.
Or GG. Neither of them will buy off of Epic Games Store, and that's totally fair. I don't blame them. But I do...
If I want something that's exclusive to Epic, I'll find a key.
Yep, that's fair. You're gonna have to do that with Alan Wake 2, my condolences, but still. Or just get it on PlayStation.
Yeah. Well,
like
the thing is, getting a key for it as well is, like...
Just going
At the end of
fanatical.
the money still goes to the devs.
Exactly. You're just not giving the money directly. Well, it's gonna... Here's the thing, though, about Alan Wake 2, is that Epic is still gonna get the money, or some of the money, because of the publishing deal. But not as much as if you buy it through their store, I don't believe.
Exactly.
That said, though, again, or you can just get it on PlayStation. So... But... Yeah, no, I think...
Completely off topic. Just a random thing that I just found. The game Crimson Desert had a event, and they had Armored Knight MMA there.
Oh my god.
I want to do that. It looks so fun.
Hell yeah. But yeah, no, I think that the future of Remedy does come down to the success of Control Resonant. Like, obviously we're not going to know until things happen, until the game comes out, until we see what happens with this new CEO of Remedy. But the way that I see it, there are two possible outcomes. And that is that Control Resonant comes out and it succeeds, and this new CEO sees that and sees that Remedy making what they're good at with their full vision, unhindered by a publishing deal that locks them onto a single platform. It releases, it sells well, it brings in a profit, and he goes, okay, do what you're doing. If you need assistance with this kind of thing, you know, helping to get overseas publishing, yada, 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 then I think that's the best case scenario. But I see scenario B being Control Resonant comes out and it doesn't sell nearly as well as they're hoping it will. And the new CEO takes that as a sign of, okay, let's completely throw everything under the bus and just completely change the studio from what it is that makes it such a good studio.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's, like, very bleak, but, like, those are really the two most obvious outcomes that I can see happening, and it all hinges on how well does Control Resonant do. So that's like my big concern there, is this new CEO has a history of with the positions that he's been in between EA, live service games, sports betting and stuff like that. Like it's deeply concerning that things could start to get filled with microtransactions, trying to nickel and dime every single player they possibly can. But at the same time, there is the chance that he is going to just let Remedy be Remedy and just assist with, like, overseas relations and stuff for publishing and marketing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's my hope and my concern on that specifically.
Yeah.
So that we'll just have to kind of wait and see. I know that I'm going to be getting Resonant day one. because I want to be able to help support Remedy and hopefully get them to that point where they can, where they can keep their vision intact and make the games that they want to make the way that they want to make them without compromising the way they've always done it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. But moving on to other topics as well, because I'm still down to yap a bit longer. Silent Hill Townfall is also coming out this year. At least I believe it's set for this year. And quite honestly, I cannot wait. I've been excited for Townfall since the initial little teaser, before we even knew anything about it, solely because of who's developing it.
Oh.
Do you know the studio that's making it?
Nope. I haven't even seen the trailer.
Oh, okay. So first off, it's the first fully first-person Silent Hill game.
Oh, okay.
It's taking place in Scotland.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here we go. Where does Silent Hill Townfall take place? Silent Hill takes place in 1996 in the fictional, foggy Scottish coastal town of St. Amelia. Setting is inspired by the real-life village of St. Monans in Fife, Scotland.
Oh.
And the studio that's making it is called Screenburn.
Okay.
They were not always known as Screenburn. They've actually, in the last the Silent Hill transmission was in, I think, 2023 when they announced Townfall and the Silent Hill 2 remake and everything. And between then and now, they changed their studio name to Screenburn. But before, they were known as No Code. Does that name sound at all familiar to you?
No.
They have made 3 games in the past.
Yeah.
2 of them are on Steam. I don't know about the third one. I don't remember the third one, but the third one, it would have been their first game, but their second and third games. Townfall is only their 4th game, and I already know it's going to be amazing because of the 2 games by them that I have played.
What is it?
They are the developers of one really cool anthology horror game called Stories Untold. Which is 4 differently genred horror games that are all interconnected with each other. The first game is called The House, like in the set is called The House Abandoned, and it's literally a text adventure.
Okay.
But then it has like each of the 4 short stories / games plays differently from each other.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's a really, really cool game. It's also like only $13, so if you get the chance to get it, I highly recommend it. And the other game by them is a bit more pricey. It's like $33. It's apparently recent reviews are sitting at mixed, and recently posted, hang on. Saw these developers are working on the new Silent Hill. Want to check some of the previous work. Big mistakes. The game was tagged as horror, but there wasn't a single tense or scary moment in the game. I thought I was buying a horror game, but being an unintuitive puzzle game. I am so sorry, sir, but like you do not know what the fuck you're talking about. Not to shit on somebody for their review of the game, but at the same time,
do it. It's funny.
You're wrong. The second game is called Observation. Not to be confused with Observer, the Bloober Team game where you play as like a detective in like a cyberpunk dystopia.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. Observation is a sci-fi horror game. Where... How do I put it? So the gameplay for it is really fucking weird and unintuitive. Like, I will agree that it's quote-unquote unintuitive, but that is by design. Because think 2001: A Space Odyssey, except you're playing as Hal.
Oh.
You are the ship in this game. And it is
okay.
psychological and cosmic horror.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's I think it was Gabe that told me to play, and that's how he described it to me. It was like, think Space Odyssey, but you are Hal. And I'm like, that sounds fucking wild. Okay. So I bought it and I streamed it, and I want to re-stream Stories Untold and Observation before Townfall comes out. It's a weird. Honestly, like, if you don't want to buy them, just watch me stream them when I stream them again. It'll be in the next.
I'll probably watch you do it.
It'll probably be right after I'm done Requiem. I think I'll get onto them because I can do each of them in a single stream.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a really cool game, and again, it's cosmic horror. It's slow paced, and that is again by design. The puzzles are convoluted and obtuse, but again, that is just kind of how games like this be.
Yeah.
Yeah, the controls are wacky. That is like my only complaint about it, is the controls are fucking weird. And it's wild that it's like now getting negative reviews, but it's pretty much just people who are coming in from the Townfall trailer.
Yeah.
They're all like super recent reviews, and it's like, you know, it's not gonna be at all like what Townfall is gonna play like. Townfall looks really sick because it gives you like an old retro like video player / camera where it looks like a Walkman but with like a screen on it, and you can tune the frequency at certain locations. Like you can manually tune the frequency to like connect to radio signals to get lore and stuff. But you can also tune it so that you can like, it's static and then the screen turns red, and through the static you can see the monsters through the walls.
Oh.
Which looks really fucking cool. But like, it doesn't seem to have a long range looking at the trailers either. You kind of got to like be very close to where the monster is to know if it's actually there or not. And apparently it is going to be like very resource intensive, like resource management. Running is still always like the best option for survival for the most part, you know. It's just first person. It looks really good. I'm very excited for Silent Hill. Also, I need a trailer for part 3 of Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Like that is.
Man, it's impressive to think as well. Like soon we're gonna get a trailer for the next expansion for Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, dude, I need to renew my sub probably on payday and play through the new patch and stuff. Like I've been away for way too long. I need to get back into my rotation. And yeah, we're because when is FanFests?
March, I think, is the March or April is the Japan Fan Fest.
No, I think Japan's the last one.
Is it?
I think it typically is. Yeah, Japan is the last one.
Okay.
April 2026, 24th, 25th is North America.
Okay. It is NA first.
Yeah, it's North America, Europe, Japan. So April 24th, 25th, that's when we're probably going to get the initial tease for it.
Yeah.
I'm because that's usually how they do it, is that either the North America or the Europe
gets
one.
The tease, JP gets the full trailer.
Yeah, and Europe gets like just more in between info on like kind of what to expect. So
like that's when we learn the first class is the Europe one.
Yeah. So yeah, April 24th, 25th is when we're going to be getting the teaser for 7.0. Which is crazy to think about. But yeah, no. So we're gonna, would it be 7? Yeah, it would be 7.0. Yeah, we're on 6. My brain's trying to do the math because base game is 2.0, which is always very jarring for me. So yeah, Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker. Yeah, Dawn. No. I think we're going 8.0 now. Actually.
Yeah, we're gonna be on. Yeah, it'll be 8.0.
Yeah.
6.0 was Endwalker.
Yeah.
7.0
was Dawn Trail. Yeah.
Dawn Trail.
Yeah, so we're going to 8.0. Sorry, my bad. Again, it starts on 2. The number trips me. The number trips me up there. But yeah, so we're gonna see the 8.0 reveal April 24th or 25th. And then
Can't
yeah,
wait.
July is Europe, July 25th, 26th, and Japan is Halloween and November 1st.
Yeah.
So so I'm expecting probably a spring or summer 2027 release.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we're gonna be seeing the teaser in a couple of months, which is crazy to think about. So I need to renew my sub and get my ass onto that newest patch. Level up my classes, get as much done as I can. I want to get back into 14. It's been... When was the last time I played 14? I also have to like redo all my shit though, because I think it'll be the first time.
That's why I haven't renewed, because
I think it's the first time since I've had to redo my hard drive. Final Fantasy 14
it'll be
online.
the first time on my new PC, so I gotta redo all my stuff as well.
September was the last time I played.
Oh yeah.
It's been almost half a year, goddamn. Yeah, I gotta get back onto that very soon. But yeah, no. Very excited for that. I want to see... I'm very much excited for the reveal of Part 3 of 7. I'm assuming at this point we're going to see it at Summer Games Fest.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? It could come before. Could have come later. We don't know. Everything I've seen is that development is progressing perfectly on track. They are not compromising on graphical fidelity. It is going to be... Like, they're doing a lot with it. And everything I've seen is positive. So I'm very excited to see how that goes. I know the remake trilogy is very polarizing, I guess would be the right word. I'm as a diehard Final Fantasy fan, I'm in the party of I love the remake trilogy. It's not a replacement for the original, but at the same time, it's not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I also gifted you 7, right?
The original 7, yeah.
Yeah, please play 7. Please start 7. I want to watch you play 7. Yeah, no, I'm very very excited to see Part 3. There's so many things that I'm curious to see in it, but I also can't talk about that in depth here because I don't want to spoil the original for you.
Yeah.
But there is, and I also don't want to spoil the remake, so I can't even like go too in depth on that. But I'm really excited to see what they do with this last chunk of the story.
What they're cooking.
Yeah, because there's so many things that like are different in the remake trilogy. And I don't know like what you know about the remake, so I want to say as little as possible until you've played at least part 1.
I don't know much about the remakes.
Yeah, so I won't say anything about it then, aside from like avoid everything you can about.
The other thing that I know is that this is not it's not a remake.
Yes.
Of the game.
And I don't really necessarily want to say anything more in depth on that other than correct until again you've played the original and have played at least part 1 of the remake trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Because yeah, that's the main thing I know is that it is not in fact a remake. It is something else. Like it's almost a continuation.
I will not say anything on it further. Actually, I won't even say just play 7. What you want to do before you play through, before you play the remakes, is play the original Final Fantasy 7 all the way through.
Yeah.
Watch Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children, which is the movie.
Yeah.
And the movie acts as like a sequel to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Either play or watch a recap of Crisis Core. Mm-hmm. Personally, I'm not a fan of the gameplay of Crisis Core, but the story is really good. That is the prequel to Final Fantasy VII. But you have to, if you don't play it before the original, it does spoil many things for the base game. And then it's very hard to find. So probably watch a recap of it as well, but Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus as well. I would watch a recap.
Isn't that the like shoot 'em?
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
featuring Vampire Boy.
Vincent, yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
fun fact, in the remake, he's in part 2 because he shows up so late in the original game. In Rebirth, he's voiced by Matt Mercer.
Yes, that I know.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah, I've seen the video of Matt talking about how excited he was to do that, and he was voicing the character, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, the character you're voicing is actually this," and he's like, "What?"
Honestly, fair. Dude, I remember like watching the trailer for Tears of the Kingdom and immediately picking out that he was the voice of Ganon. It was like, wait, that's Matt Mercer.
Yeah, like we've heard him so much that we're just able to pick him out on things. Like, oh, yep, that's Matt.
Yeah, no.
It's 1:12.
It's 12 o'clock.
It's midnight. I gotta go to bed.
Oh, fuck.
It's also midnight and I gotta go to bed.
Christ. Oh my god. I mean, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Let's go a few more minutes.
Yeah.
You know, just to round us off a little bit. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for Final Fantasy VII Part 3. I do love the remake trilogy. It's such a blast. I definitely understand people's complaints about some of the changes, but at the same time, like,
it's because it's not a remake.
I think because the first one was marketed as like a direct remake, but at the same time, like, I prefer my remakes to try different things, you know?
Yeah.
I don't like when a remake comes out and is like, this is the replacement for the original. Good luck, the end. Because it's not always as good as the original. Like, two examples that are polar opposites. I think that the Shadow of the Colossus remake on PS4 by Bluepoint, also rip Bluepoint, holy fuck, I'll rant about that in a sec too.
Yeah.
I think that the Shadow of the Colossus remake that they did is the definitive way to play Shadow of the Colossus, personally. It doesn't have the good old, like, that generation piss filter over it. Like so many games in that era did.
Yeah.
Like, it swaps the color palette, but that's really about the only thing that changes. It still feels and plays exactly like Shadow of the Colossus. But it is also a 1-to-1 remake of the original, except with one extra secret, which is very obtuse and hard to find. But that's like the only major difference, is there's a color palette swap, and it's rebuilt from the ground up using the original game's code. Whereas the Demon's Souls remake, for example, well, it's fantastic as a whole. It makes a lot of artistic changes that completely change the tone and meaning of a lot of things from the original Demon's Souls.
Yeah.
But you also can't just go out and buy the original Demon's Souls anymore unless you find a used copy of it. Because the PS3 store, I believe, is shut down now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they closed down the PS3 shop.
Yeah.
And even if you own the original Demon's Souls, the servers for multiplayer are gone. They shut those down too. So now you're stuck with Demon's Souls Remake, which, well, is really good, does lose a lot of elements and artistic and stylistic choices that made the original stand out, and it just feels very, I don't know why they did it that way. Like, there's some boss, like, visual designs that don't look quite as good as they could. There's, like, level design choices and, like, more background stuff for the most part, but it still drastically changes a lot of that. And some of the music changes as well just aren't as strong as the originals. So that's one where it's like, it's an almost 1-to-1 remake, but the original is better as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like, I'm kind of glad that Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't a one-to-one remake of the original, because it would fall into one of those two camps of it's literally the exact same game one-to-one just with a fresh coat of paint, or they change just enough that it's annoying while still essentially being otherwise the exact same game, so why not just get the original and play the original that's cheaper?
Yeah.
Whereas with the remake trilogy, but the time that it took me to finish the entirety of the original is how long it takes to get through Midgar in remake. Roughly. Because Midgar in the original is only about 6 or 7 hours long, whereas it's the entirety of the first game in the remake trilogy, which is like 30 hours or something. So, and that's like not even doing all the side content in it either. So, definitely, I definitely like that direction for the remake trilogy, because as long as if the original is easily accessible, then I don't think that the remake needs to necessarily be one-to-one with the original. And I know that, like, Silent Hill 2 Remake is another one that, like, some people are very 50-50 on. I think it expands on the original in a lot of very good ways, but I also have access to the original to go back to and play when I feel like it, and not everybody does, so I also understand the frustration with some of the choices made there. My biggest issue with Silent Hill 2's remake, quite honestly, is the design and delivery of Maria's design and Maria's lines. Because on one hand, I'm not one of those people. I've never been one of those people who's like, oh, this character isn't hot enough. Yeah, I can't fucking goon to him. But in the case of Silent Hill 2 remake, they did tone down the sexualization in the design of Maria. But in this case, I will argue that that's a bad thing, for the sole fact that Maria... I think you
mentioned this to me.
I think I talked about this like when they put
trying to seduce...
That is the whole point, is that she is a creation of the town meant to seduce James.
Yeah.
She is... her whole purpose is to be sexualized because she is not a person. She is a figment of the town meant to play into James's lust and make him succumb to the town further.
Yeah.
So them toning that down on her kind of makes it less impactful in a way. And like that, again, like I've never been a person to be like, this character's not hot, ugh. But like they did tone, and it's specifically her outfit is like a lot less revealing. And on one hand, we're in a different time than the original was released, but the original design was made with a very specific purpose of telling that story that this is, again, a figment of the town trying to seduce James and corrupt him and bring him deeper into the town.
Yeah.
And also I just feel like a lot of like the lighting, especially for one specific scene in Remake 2, the lighting is not nearly as like harsh and impactful. So it kind of takes you out of the scene, and the line delivery of Maria isn't, it feels a lot more casual, whereas in the original it was a lot more, at times, very subtly sinister, and it doesn't have that delivery in the remake, which I feel also isn't nearly as strong. But I still loved the remake of Silent Hill 2. I think it was great, and I can't wait to see Bloober's remake of Silent Hill 1. And I hope that they also remake 3 as well, because that's another one that deserves the same kind of treatment. I just hope that, like, you know, they don't... I do hope they don't tone down anything from 3, because 3 gets really fucked up. And there's a lot of, like, graphic depictions in the enemy design and stuff that, if they change it, would drastically alter the tone and the visual storytelling of 3.
I think there's I think it was 3 that has the one thing that I really don't want them to change, which I know that they're going to.
Is that the mirror room?
No. It was it was a Vinny stream where he did Silent Hill 3, I believe it was, and one of the enemies, when you hit them in the melee attack, they burp. They do their injury sound effect. It sounds like a burp.
No, I think that's I think that's the room actually.
Is it?
Who is like the player character in it? Do you remember?
No.
What was
I'll see if I can find the clip after.
Was it the girl with the blonde hair, or was it a guy with like brown hair and a jacket?
It was a girl with blonde hair.
Okay, that would be 3 then.
I'll see if I can find the clip for you.
No, I know which clip you're talking about. For my brain was just thinking it was the room for some reason. But if it was the girl with the blonde hair and like the white vest, yeah, that's Heather. That's Silent Hill 3.
That was in fact 3.
Yeah, that's Silent Hill 3. That's Heather.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really
remember the character was blonde and had a white vest. So.
Yeah, no, that's 3. I really do hope that Bloober remakes 3 as well, which I can see them doing, because I understand why they did 2 first, because it is the most popular, and it also isn't a direct sequel to Silent Hill 1 story-wise. It's just kind of where it takes place. Whereas Silent Hill 3 is a direct storyline sequel to Silent Hill 1. Because Heather is
like the daughter of the main character?
Yeah. Heather is the daughter of Harry from the first game.
Harry Dubois.
Yeah, so I'm very very excited to see Silent Hill 1 remake, and also hopefully Silent Hill 3 remake later down the line. It's also all but confirmed at this point that we're getting Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica remakes, which I'm very excited to see. I would also unironically like a Resident Evil 1 remake in the style of the new ones.
Yeah.
Because like the Resident Evil 1 remake that we have from the GameCube era that's been upscaled and remastered a few times since then, like we have that's not going anywhere. Which is also a very different game from the original Resident Evil 1 in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I it wouldn't replace that. It would just be like an alternative way to play it if they did it, I think. And I think that's why they're so hesitant to do it, is because we already have a remake of it, but at the same time, if they're remaking 0 and Code Veronica, I think that they can do a remake of the first one. I would also like to see a remake of 5 at some point, but who knows. One thing, I think it was Trash that I was talking to about it. I'm sad that he wasn't able to make it for the video tonight. But I believe it was Trash I was talking to. We were saying that, Resi 5 remake would be really cool. With them toning down the action, keeping it co-op, but toning down like the super heavy over the top action, like Chris Redfield punching a boulder. But
it's funny.
It's funny, but we have the original for that. Making it a bit more of a serious game, and then leaving it open in a way that not like doing a remake of 5, toning down to be more consistent with the tone of the rest of the series, and then doing a full remake / reimagining of Resident Evil 6, where it would be an actual horror game, maybe still keeping the co-op and the multiple characters and routes, but being a lot more grounded and a lot more, and like it being an actual horror Resident Evil game to once again fit with the tone, and also to better connect it between Resident Evil like 0 through 5 and then Resident Evil 7. Because it feels like a lot of things that they've done in the newer games completely ignores the existence of 6. Like, entirely.
Yeah.
I don't recall anything that alludes to the events of 6 happening at all through 7 and 8. Or the Rose DLC. I don't even know if I've seen anything that connects back to 5. Or no, sorry, Chris in 8 does. But I don't, I think, I don't even remember if like they mentioned anything about his adventures through 5 and 6. So I do think that they could just, you know, retcon
Timeline-wise,
OG6.
Timeline-wise, isn't the, like, before 9 the last time we see Leon is 6?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
6 is the last time we saw a lot of the characters. And then 7 is you see Ethan Winters, who's the new protag for 7 and 8. And I don't think... Oh, no, we get, like, 2 seconds of... Oh, no, I'm wrong. Sorry, I'm slightly wrong. We see Chris for, like, a second at the end of 7. Spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. But also there's a free DLC for 7 where you play as Chris Redfield, and that's, like, public knowledge, so it's not really spoilers.
I know of that one, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really spoilers. And then in Village, I mean, he's been all over the cover art. Chris Redfield is in Village. So... One of the biggest things during the build-up to Village releasing was, like, what is going on with Chris? What the fuck is he doing? What's his role in this?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. I honestly, like, if you can get all the Resi games, get them. Play them. Begging you.
Yeah.
No, I would like to see a remake of 5, maybe toned down, a bit more serious, a bit more dark and gritty, and more horror-focused. Whether they would tweak the story enough, like probably tweak the story, and then do the same for 6 and just make them both more focused and horror driven while still keeping the co-op aspect would be perfectly fine, and having them tie into the newer games a lot better. Because 6 happens, and then 7 is just completely brand new, starting off in a whole separate area where you see none of the original characters until the very last minute of the story. And then Village kind of just rolls on with that and doesn't talk about 5 or 6 at all.
Yeah.
There's even with Chris Redfield being a prominent character throughout Village, you get there's a lot more connections lore-wise to 7 than there is all the other... Sorry, there's more connections to 7 and Resi 1 than there is to 5 and 6.
Mm.
And by that, I mean, I don't even think there's any connections to 5 and 6 other than Chris Redfield exists.
Yeah.
So I think that if they were to do a remake of 5 and 6, like, the originals are still there to play for anybody who wants to. But I honestly wouldn't mind a full reimagining of 5 and 6 being totally different games. Just to keep because with the current string of the remakes, despite the flaws with the minor flaws that I have with 2, the minor issues I have with 2, and with how 3 turned out, and a lot of people have been begging for a director's cut, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Much as I would love a director's cut of 3 as well, but. And then we're getting remakes of 0 and Code Veronica. I think a remake of 1 in the newer style is inevitable at this point. And I think that using that, like, taking this opportunity with all these remakes, making the series feel more consistent across the board as a whole, would be a great opportunity to make 5 and 6, whether they're similar or drastically different, connect and be more concise and tonally consistent across the board leading up to 7 and 8 and 9.
Okay.
That's what me and Trash were talking about, was like remake of 5, make it a bit more grounded and gritty, a bit more serious, keep the co-op but make it a bit more serious, and then just fully redo 6 from scratch, retcon 6 entirely and make a new game.
Yeah. I could see that, though.
Yeah, I agree with that, because, like, as much as 5 and 6 are very fun, and also I would love to co-op them with you at some point, because I've streamed them with Trash, like, twice. I'm down to stream them again. They're very fun co-op games, but they're not, especially 6, are not good Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
6 is unironically one of the funniest games I've ever played, but not for any good reason. If you have time tomorrow evening-ish before I start my stream, I still have it on YouTube. I think it's public now, but I'll show it to you tomorrow if you're free. A compilation of the first stream of 6 that me and Trash did together, and it's just so fucking goofy.
Maybe. I kind of want to experience it as well.
I kind of want to show you the video just because it's only like the first chapter of Leon's campaign anyway, because there's 4 different campaigns in it. So it wouldn't be like spoilers for the whole thing. It would just be like the first like maybe hour and a half of the game. Like compiled, like not even the whole thing, just compiled down to like 10-15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, no. We kind of got off the rails during this video, but again, that's what the series is, just sitting down with a friend or two, yapping about things. There's a specific topic I want to get to in each one, and we'll get to it. But if we just go off rambling, we go off rambling. So.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think that is going to do it here for tonight. Or today, I guess. Like I said, if you're watching this when it comes out, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Go give Shoc here a follow. Link to his Twitch down in the description below. Link to my... Yes, you are. Link to my Twitch as well. If you're watching this on day of release, morning of release, afternoon of release, whatever time it gets published. 9 p.m. PST over on Twitch. I'll be starting Resident Evil Requiem. So with that, thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see y'all next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.